Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Con Guy Special San Diego Comic-Con updates, where we are trying to keep you updated and in the know on everything happening as we speed on towards San Diego Comic-Con, which is happening July 24th, which is preview night, through July 28th in San Diego, California. My name is Jim, and as always, we are keeping you up to date on everything that's happening. Who do we have with us tonight?
Hey everyone, it's me, Katie, aka Katie Christine, the choice con girl for the evening, ready to give you some much awaited San Diego Comic-Con news.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Derek, founding member of the Con Guy podcast, and excited to talk about some of what's coming up and some cosplay that we've had fun doing.
That's right. I was gonna say, because we barreled through some like pre-recordings, doing some stuff tonight, and you guys are sitting here with me tonight. This is awesome. I'm so glad that I have both Derek and Katie here tonight. They are big fans of cosplay. And Derek, let me just ask you real quick, because what we're about to talk about is San Diego Comic-Con cosplay, the events, the masquerade, the Her Universe, different things happening. You are a cosplay specialist, and Katie is a professional. I'm sorry, you're a specialist. She's a professional.
Yeah.
But tell me about like some of your favorite cosplays you've done.
I don't even know if I can call myself a specialist, because I'm the kind of cosplayer that really good cosplayers sometimes hate and make fun of, because I go cheap. I go easy. I just try and get like what I can throw together. I don't know how to sew. I don't have a 3D printer, but I like to do stuff that's clever that people will catch and will make them smile. For example, one year my sister was Rey not long after The Force Awakens had come out, and I went as J.J. Abrams from his TED Talk, because that was fun. If you've ever seen that video, it's when he's talking about the mystery box, about building suspense. So I wore a black sweater and horn rimmed glasses like J.J. Abrams, and made a box with a big question mark on it, kind of like.
And how many people knew who you were?
At least two.
At least two. That's a good thing.
That's between WonderCon and San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah, there were a handful, and I would get some fun reactions here and there. But that's part of the fun too, is because it's just fun seeing people who get the same joke. I did go as Hemorrhage from that one episode of Rick and Morty one year. Not fully authentic, because that would have gotten me arrested. A little more modest, but I did have the bucket hat, and I had a mustache at the time.
So you may not have been arrested. This is Comic-Con.
I mean, who knows?
But I'm glad
the way he looks in the cartoon, though. Yeah.
I'm glad you went. A little
it was a little more modest than that. Anyway, but yeah, Agent Mulder was kind of entertaining too. Pretty funny. I think it's still in our intro.
Is it in our intro when he walks down the stairs and the
walking down the stairs? It looks like I'm just not wearing pants. I am wearing swimwear, but it's Fox Mulder style.
It's from the X-Files, the episode called the Red Swimsuit.
That's not the name of the episode, but that's what it gets nicknamed a lot.
That's the name of the episode.
No, the episode opens up with him like doing laps in a pool, and he's wearing a red Speedo. So I had like the top.
Krychek's there too.
Yeah. That's where he comes in and finds him and tells about the case. But I had like a shirt and tie and sports coat with a little FBI ID, and then like a red swim briefs. It was pretty funny. That got some good reactions. Also, I think we went to a panel it might have been for the Con Men show that Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk were doing, but they also talked about Firefly. And I remember just like going across the front of the audience there to get in line to ask a question, and just you heard the laughter kind of go like a wave across.
That was when we were at the LA Comic-Con downtown Los Angeles, and it was at the time it was called the Microsoft Center or the theater.
Microsoft Theater.
Yeah. And Derek got a big laugh from everybody.
It was funny. And
now called the Peacock.
Peacock, yes.
Yeah.
Huh. Anyway, I mean, I was wearing a swimsuit. It wasn't really that immodest.
Oh, it was fine.
Yeah, it was fine, but it was funny, and it's one of those things like. The quick little 2-second clip of me walking down the stairs in our intro video, it looks like I'm just not wearing pants.
But it's so funny.
Yeah.
It is so funny.
For Comic-Con, it's fine. Like,
but
honestly.
one of my favorite, though, is when you and Danae did the Bob's Burgers.
Oh, yeah. She was Louise and I was Tina, which was pretty funny because, yeah, I think we mentioned this in another episode. I don't know if this is going to be before or after that.
No, this is going on tonight.
Okay, great.
This is going on
but yeah,
tonight.
Talking about a lot of our favorite Comic-Con memories,
2nd.
I mentioned that. But yeah, just dressing up. And Danae had the idea of like, hey, let's be Louise and Tina, because Tina's voiced by a man, and she's got a voice that you can totally You can tell it's a guy doing the voice. It's pretty funny. And it got
There's
some good
only-
reactions.
There's only one female voice actor on that show. And
Really?
Kristen Shaw as Louise.
Yeah.
Like
in the
there were
main,
more.
Wait,
in the
who
main
plays
Oh,
the
in the
wife?
main cast.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a guy. I forget his name.
Yeah, but the main cast, there's only one female voice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mhm.
I do have to say this though, like you just mentioned other shows that we've been doing. That we are dropping this San Diego Comic-Con updates, which is a special, like a mini series of the Con Guy. In our main Con Guy series, we have just recorded some really cool episodes that we'll be dropping in a couple of weeks. We are talking about the 25 top moments of San Diego.
Mhm.
Little San Diego Comic-Con. It's a lot of beer with that too. The top 25 moments of San Diego Comic-Con. We split it into 2 episodes, but also our favorite moments from 8 years of the Con Guy. If you guys get a chance, make sure you check it out.
Well, those top 25 moments of SDCC are not just the whole time San Diego Comic-Con has gone on.
right,
A lot
right.
of our memories since we've been going, mostly since we've just done this podcast.
Yes,
Right.
correct.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a couple things to talk about tonight. Tonight we are mainly talking about cosplay and what's going on. But first, real quick, just to update everybody, if you still need parking at San Diego Comic-Con, you have until June 9th, which is just a couple of days, to enter for this year's Ace Parking Lottery. The groups are going to be assigned June 10th. Group 1, you will find out on June 26th at 10 a.m. PT about
A month before.
a month before about your parking. And then the users, you will have through midnight on Sunday, July 2nd to make your purchase with the line, once you get your notification. Group 2 will launch on Wednesday, July 5 at 10 a.m. PT. And you're going to have through July 9th to make your purchase. And then on July 10th, open to the public. So
Now, and correct me if I'm wrong, I've never gone through the Ace parking
I have.
structure, but it's not overnight parking. So you have to do like per a day.
correct.
Yeah,
Yes,
so-
that's correct. Yeah, these are daily parkings.
Yeah.
If you want overnight parking, for example, if you are staying downtown at one of the conventions, they do have the overnight parkings just kind of a couple of blocks down from the convention center.
Yeah.
And it's usually like $30 a day.
Yeah, if you've paid for a hotel room,
Yes.
you've probably paid more than enough, and usually you can still park your car there.
Usually it's an added on fee, but it's still going to save you time and
Yeah, and
energy
even
all
if
that stuff.
even if you think it's going to be a bit of a walk, it's often worth it to just use the hotel parking. As Carrie Lane used to always say, you can always find free parking if you're willing to walk.
Okay, Carrie Lane, she's a superhero when it comes to that because I
Yeah.
can never find free
And, like,
parking anywhere.
Well, and I think it's also
Mhm.
important that like not everybody feels comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I'm a planner.
Mhm.
I also have high anxiety when it comes to parking, so I need a solution before I'm going somewhere and know exactly where I'm parking.
That's
So
better.
I always do the hotel parking. To me, it's the easiest thing. It's
Yeah.
also nice if you have the hotel parking, if you have that option. I think it's usually been about like $50 flat, or like it might have even been like $50 a day. I don't know. It's not cheap, but it's easier, and you can leave it and come back as you wish. Like if you want to go drive somewhere else to go get food, because sometimes food can be a little tricky at
Yeah.
certain times of the day and late at night. So it is nice.
Mhm.
I've never done the Ace Hotel Lottery. So
But if you are doing ACE, just as a reminder, June 9th is when you need to submit to fill out your application, fill out your profile to get into the ACE lottery. It's going to be assigned June 10th. Group 1, if you're in Group 1, it is set for June 26th at 10 a.m. Western time. And then those users will have through midnight on Sunday, June 2 to make your purchases. And then Group 2 will launch on Wednesday, July 5th, the day after 4th of July at 10 a.m. And you have through Sunday, July 9th to make your purchase. And then on July 10th, it goes public. So everybody can grab whatever's left over. And then just last reminder, the panels should be released. The panels for San Diego Comic-Con will be announced July 11th through the 14th. And we are going to have a special podcast where we're going to be breaking down the panels and talking about that. All right. July 11th through 14th. All right. For tonight, let's talk about the Masquerade. Derek just talked about some of his cosplays that he has been in. This is the 50th anniversary of the Masquerade. I know that Katie is our resident specialist, professional when it comes to cosplay. She's done commissions before. She's taken commissions, and she knows what it takes. Katie,
She actually knows what she's doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm a dum-dum when it
there's
comes
still a
to
lot I don't know, though, to be fair.
but
Well,
I'm a
but you
dum-dum.
made your own chainmail
Yes, I
one
did.
year. Yeah.
Well, did you really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in 2013. my
Oh,
first
that's
year,
right. You made your own chainmail.
2012, my first year.
Mhm.
Yeah, I made Lady Sif Thor: The Dark World cosplay. It was my first ever cosplay I had made. I had made costumes before. I would like to preface that I am a costume design degree holder, so I wasn't new to making costumes.
Mhm.
But yeah, I made chainmail, including making the rings from hand. So
That's
yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. So,
haven't
Katie,
done it since, but yeah.
so the Masquerade, this is going to be the 50th anniversary of the Masquerade. The very first Masquerade for San Diego Comic-Con was 1974. It was over at the Cortez Hotel.
Mhm.
This year, of course, it's in Ballroom 20.
So it's been for many years now, at least as long as I've been there.
Yep, which seats 3,900 people. It will be on July 27th. That's the Saturday night. It's going to start at 8:30 p.m. It's going to be about 2.5 hours long. It's free,
Mhm.
but they encourage you to get tickets ahead of time. You can get tickets. You can register ahead of time on the website, or there are still tickets. You can still
Usually
probably
you can
get
still
in.
get them at the convention.
Correct.
And they have overflow rooms, as far as I know, for viewing.
Right.
But I
Right.
could be wrong.
So tell us, Katie,
Yeah.
From your experience, tell us about the Masquerade. What goes into, like, how long does it take for someone to develop what they're going to be doing for the Masquerade? How
So
difficult is all this?
That's not something I have expertise on. I've never competed in the Masquerade. Actually, Ben,
Mhm.
con guy Ben has, so he would actually be really good.
Ben's
at
been in the Masquerade.
Yes, he has been in the Masquerade.
We should have made him stay. And
It's all good.
tell us about it.
Ben was here.
But overall, what people choose to put on at the Masquerade depends on how much labor intensive it is and how big your group is. There are individual categories where people enter by themselves, but then there's also categories where they have a whole group that is with them. I believe, so the thing to know about the Masquerade in particular is if you are going to compete in the Masquerade, it's going to take up the majority of your Saturday because
Right.
there's the check-in, there's the run-throughs, things like that. Because basically, it is primarily a cosplay contest, but
Mhm.
there's a performance aspect to it. So you
Mhm.
are presenting your costume, and there's usually music, or you can do skits or act, kind of different things. But it's kind of like you have a certain amount of time to perform in your cosplay. Then they have judges who give away different types of prizes that are voted on by a panel of cosplayers, other people in the industry, costume designers, etc. It is a very long event. I haven't been to the Comic-Con one, I don't think, in a while. I think I might have gone a while ago, but at the Masquerades, people do chants and things like that. It gets kind of lengthy, but it is fun. It's a nice way to rest your feet at the end of the day if you've been walking on the floor all day. And if you just want to get that whole experience of if you haven't been to a convention before, everybody who has never been to a convention before is always like, what is cosplay? What is it? Do I have to do it? The answer is no, you do not have to do it. In fact, I recommend testing the waters of a convention and seeing the cosplay before you actually cosplay for the first time, because it is very laborious. It is very a lot of work goes into it. It's very tiring, all this sort of stuff. So don't feel obligated to cosplay. It's not everybody's cup of tea either.
You've done San Diego cosplay though before.
Yeah, I've done cosplay many years. I have cut down a little bit the most recent years just because of time and energy. Honestly, my cosplaying decreased a little bit after the pandemic.
Right.
But yeah, you'll see it's a fun way to get that experience of seeing the work that people put into these. And they put a lot of work into their Masquerade looks. The only thing is that these people are not allowed to walk around in that particular cosplay before the Masquerade.
Oh, they're not?
No. So they're not supposed to. From what I understand, they're not supposed to because it's supposed to be for the Masquerade. Afterwards, it's a different story. But as far as I know, that is one of the requirements.
I didn't know that, but it does kind of make sense. And also, I would imagine if you were doing that, you'd want to really be careful that nothing happened to the costume you'd made.
Yeah. So there's that. But yeah, it's still available to enter. I think you said until...
It says right now that to request a contestant spot in the show, you must read the complete Masquerade information, rules, and entry. There's an entry form on the San Diego Comic-Con page. We'll also put it here on our webpage. But the deadline is July 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's time.
Yeah, and I don't believe they do categories. It's just kind of like either an individual cosplay award and a group one or something.
Well, no, they actually do have They have best in show.
Yeah, but I meant like no like themed.
Oh, no,
categories. Yeah.
not themed categories. You're correct. Like the awards are best in show, judge's choice, best recreation, best original design, best workmanship, most humorous, most beautiful, and best young fan. Huh.
That's like there's I believe a
those are very kind of vague. Those are
but
like you're
there's a
saying.
children's one too.
Yeah,
I
that's pretty cool.
There's different categories.
Yeah, that gives them the chance to have multiple winners. Like sometimes competitions like that, you have.
But you must be at least 12 years old.
Yes, correct.
Must be at least 12 years
old. So young fan is probably.
Yeah, that's the children's category.
Yeah, but that's still at least 12.
Yes.
But I guess below 18 or.
And the Masters of Ceremony, Phil Foglio and Kaja Foglio. And I think most of us are very familiar with them. They're steampunk cosplayers, but they're also Hugo award-winning artists and writers. And the one thing that's you talk about chanting, like you get up there and like number 18, ha 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 ha.
And every time someone else gets added, they add another sound to it. And so by the time they get to like the 20th person, it can be like 2 to 3 minutes.
Not gonna lie, the chanting and the cheers from the audience drove me to desperation
because the show gets really long. It feels like it's being stretched out more at that point.
And it takes some time for there to be a deliberation for the judges to decide who's winning. So they usually have some sort of performance while you're waiting. Sometimes it's like a group, like usually it's a performance based, like music based or dance based type thing. Forgot what it was a couple years ago, but so they do that. But it know that it's going to be a long night if you do go to it.
But all the winners of each of these trophies receive a 4-day pass to Comic-Con for the following year. That's a big deal.
It is. And a guaranteed pass too. So it's like, that's a big thing.
Have you guys seen the documentary? What was the documentary where they followed different people trying to get to Comic-Con? I watched it with Cheeseman, and they followed a couple of cosplayers as they developed their cosplay costumes and tried to get. Oh, it's the famous one. I've got it. Kevin Smith was involved with it. I have to watch it again. It was very like heartbreaking to watch some of these super elaborate cosplays that get put together. They get up there and they don't win.
Yeah, and I mean it is unfortunately the way the cookie crumbles. So and I want to give some encouragement. I've never competed in it. I have friends who've competed in other equivalents to this. They happen around most cons. They might be called something different, cosplay competition. I have friends who are just beautifully, wonderfully talented seamstresses who it takes them many, many times to even get accepted and then to participate. So do not get discouraged if you don't get picked. Don't let that deter you away from it. If it's something you want to do, just continue to learn and continue to grow. And as long as you're having fun, that's the biggest thing about cosplay. If it's not fun, you're not going to enjoy it. And so that's the biggest advice I have about cosplaying in general. So
I do have a question though. Like when I've seen the Masquerade, it seems like there's always a musical component to every person that comes out. Does everybody need to choose music?
I think music is a requirement, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it's a requirement.
Yeah.
So it'll have all the like what Jim said. If you go on the website, it'll give you all the information. But otherwise, because if there's no music, it's just very awkward. You can't you're not like talking. You don't I don't think you have a microphone. So there's always some sort of performance, and so it'd be a little awkward.
And it's not like you have to dance and perform, but for example, if you're somebody from the Star Wars universe and you're brandishing a lightsaber, have that lightsaber, have the music ready to go, and get ready to swing it around. You don't have to do a big production.
Not everybody does a whole dance sort of thing, but usually there's some kind of like walking back and forth and posing, if nothing else. A lot of the really impressive ones do have some kind of movable component to it. And all that, whether you're into this sort of thing to do it yourself or not, it's really cool to see a lot of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Both at San Diego Comic-Con and at WonderCon, they have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And what's interesting this year, it says after the costume presentations, while the judges are telling the scores, we will be treated to the return of entertainment by the Jeddah Temple chapter of the Saber Guild.
Yeah, like I said, they do performances. Yeah.
This is cool. The largest not-for-profit Lucasfilm recognized Star Wars lightsaber club in the world. They're going to come out and do acrobatics and dancing.
I believe that's who did it a few years ago too.
I haven't seen that. That's
really
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's always usually some sort of Star Wars lightsaber thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. So if you haven't yet submitted to the Masquerade contest, you have until July 5th. You do have to submit a photograph of a couple of photographs of what you're presenting, fill out the form, and then just be there on time. It's going to take up a big chunk of your day on Saturday. But if you know what a great thing to be up on stage in front of like close to 4,000 people. And for those of us who can't get into the room, there's also out into the sales pavilion. They have like food and they have and music set up, but they also have the big screen set up where we can watch it. And there's different rooms where you're watching.
And they do, I think, a re-showing in Ballroom 20, I think, on Sunday. Wait, it's on Friday night or Saturday night?
This is Saturday, so it's on Sunday.
It's on Sunday.
So this is very cool. All right. Second thing about cosplay for the San Diego Comic-Con, Her Universe. And we have both good news and bad news. Good news, you can attend this awesome show and see some of the most amazing cosplays.
So I want to preface this. They're not technically cosplay.
Okay, yeah.
If you guys aren't aware of Her Universe is a company started by Ashley Eckstein. You know her as the voice of Ahsoka, right?
Correct.
She created it. It is a geek fandom apparel company that their whole thing is like kind of like bringing cosplay into apparel.
Geek couture.
Yeah, geek couture. It is a fashion show. It is not a cosplay contest. So that is how this differs from the Masquerade. Okay. Yeah, they're very specific. The looks are not supposed to be a costume. They're supposed to be fashion. Nice. So that is the one difference.
Stuff that regular people could wear.
But it is not cosplay. Yeah.
Yeah, and is this the competition where the winner actually gets their?
Yes, they get to design for it used to be for Hot Topic. I'm not sure exactly this year because it changed slightly, but yeah, they get to design something for Her Universe. It's usually 2 or 3 winners because there's like a judge's choice, a couple other categories.
So does their design get used for that, or they get to design something they get brought in? Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it takes place on Thursday night at the Hilton. Is that at the Hilton again this year?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's always at the Hilton on Thursday night. So it used to be presented by Hot Topic. This year it is brought to them by Mattel.
Yep.
I'm not sure exactly what.
That's interesting.
Like, I don't know exactly who they're designing the line for this year. I don't know if that.
It doesn't say right here, but it says you will design something for Her Universe.
Yeah. So, because Her Universe used to be owned by Hot Topic. And so you would either winning the people who won would design for Hot Topic. I wasn't able to find online if it's just being sold on Her Universe's website, which maybe it is because they do have their own websites and they vend at conventions. Does it say the theme as to like what that collection is or no?
I'm looking right now. I don't see that.
Yeah. So I know it's brought to them by Mattel this year because I believe it is the theme of it this year is regarding what was it regarding? Did it say?
I'm looking right now. So submissions portals open and
it just says presented by Mattel. So I'm assuming if you look online, it'll tell you more about the theme. But like last year's theme was Disney 100. So everybody's looks had to be revolved around Disney 100, and they would design a Disney 100 line. So usually there's a theme. Sometimes there's not. There didn't used to be a theme as much. But so if you guys look at the website, I'm sure they'll tell you more information about it. Unfortunately, the deadline already lapsed to submit.
That's the bad part.
So you can no longer submit, but you can attend. And I highly recommend it. I have been every year that I've been able to go, I go. It is a fun event. They do it like a fashion show. They'll do like 5 pieces that kind of all correspond together, and then they'll have a break. Ashley will come up and things like that. And it's really a fun time. Last year, the last time I went, I don't think it was last year. I think it was 2022. What year are we in? Yeah, 2022.
24.
Yeah.
Right now it's 24. Yes.
2 years ago when I went, they had a huge swag bag that everybody got when they went in. So usually they have a lot of partnerships with people. I went, forgot what the theme was the year I went, but yeah, it's a really cool show. Ashley's always brings lots of life and lots of fun outfits to it herself. They also have little videos of each of the designers where they kind of show you their journey and their process in creating their look. And these looks are it's called couture for a reason. They are very difficult garments to make and very elaborate, but highly recommended if you're going to be there Thursday because it is fun. And it's definitely an experience. So.
And it is happening, although if you go onto their website right now, heruniverse.com, and click on the form for official rules, that page is not found. So they got some stuff going on. May 17th is the deadline where all the finalists were notified. So be available for a mandatory dress rehearsal on July 24th at the Manchester Grand Hyatt. So I guess it's at the Manchester this year.
Oh,
Interesting.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I think it was at the Manchester Grand before. I just messing up my hotels.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So that's exciting. By the way, Ashley Eckstein is one of the coolest people in all of fandom. She loves fandom. She loves Star Wars. She loves what she did. And so I'm so excited.
And
for
it's
her.
also a couple hours. The show's a couple hours. So.
And it's a cool thing. It's like, it's not normal Comic-Con fare. It's very high fashion, high couture, but are there tickets to this?
Actually, this year it says that there's a cash prize. I don't know if they're designing something for it this year, but it says
interesting.
This year it's saying that 2 winners will receive a cash prize of $2,000.
Wow.
So, yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Which is new because they haven't had a cash prize before. It's always been designing something for.
Now, you've gone many times to the show. Is it hard to get in?
There is overflow outside the Manchester Grand Ballroom. They will have like a viewing area.
Cool.
It does kind of get filled, but I've never really had an issue getting in. But it depends on where you're sitting because it is a runway. There is a runway, so certain areas are going to be like right there. Most of the time, press and everything will get right up front, but it's still a good view. It's still fun.
Nice.
You're always going to still be able to see because there's still screens available in the room.
It's one of the larger events that kicks off the Comic-Con week.
Yeah.
This is very cool. All right, Katie, we are going to be wrapping up here. This is a short. And Derek, I don't know if you know as well. Are there any meetups, any kind of cosplay things that people should be on the lookout for while they're there? The biggest, of course, Masquerade, and her universe is not cosplay, but it's high couture.
Yeah.
It's geek fashion.
Geek couture,
Yeah. I know. I don't know of any meetups specifically this year, but I know most years they will do a big. They'll do a lot of like big cosplay photos out on the back stairs.
Yeah.
Usually there's some huge one of everybody in a Spider-Man costume recreating a gigantic version of the meme. So for that kind of thing, usually if you follow the official Comic-Con blog or
unofficial,
the unofficial Comic-Con blog, and various things like that, or all of your favorite fandoms, if you turn on alerts for whatever social media you're following them on, sometimes that's the best way to get updates for things like that. I would say if you are planning to do cosplay and maybe if you're new to this, make sure you account for some way to carry stuff with you because you're going to be walking around a lot. Think about the fact that you're going to be on your feet a long time. You're probably going to want pockets in that cosplay or at least allow for some kind of bag to carry. You're going to want to have things like a Sharpie, whiteout, duct tape or electrical tape, needle and thread, a little travel stick of deodorant, things like that. Yeah. There are a lot of things like that. Whatever you've used to assemble your cosplay, you're probably going to need to do some repairs over the course of the day, especially if you're parking really far away and have to walk, as we talked about. Just keep some of those practical things in mind. A lot of people know this if they've been doing this for a long time, but sometimes it's easy to forget.
And if you do not have access to pockets in your cosplay, you will need a buddy. Pretty much even if you do have pockets, buddies are very important when you're cosplaying. Another biggest thing is to make sure you're staying hydrated because it's very hot at San Diego Comic-Con. The other biggest thing you need to check out is the weapons and props policy that is on the website. You do not want to make a really cool prop and then find out that the day of the convention you are not allowed to bring it in. They're very strict. You have to check your fake weapons or your props before you go into the floor. I had a sheep's crook for when I did Bo Peep, and they almost did not let me take it in, and it was made of PVC. So just make sure that you're very familiar with that before you invest a whole bunch of time finding out that you can't bring something in.
Like Tom Parham, who we both know, he was Green Arrow or Arrow one time, and he was dressed to the T, basically shrink wrapped into this like spandex suit. And it was back when he was having really some problems, difficulty walking because of his hip. And so he went all the way to the door, and I was sharing a room with him that year. And then like 10 minutes before his panel starts, the door flies open. They won't let me in because of my arrows. And he had like fake arrows with the tips that had been covered and everything, but he had to come all the way back and get rid of them.
Yeah, there's strict rules about like arrows and swords. Like they have to be able to not be removed. Like you have to like tie them down and make sure they cannot.
Everything's tied down.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah, which it can be frustrating, but also we get it. It's a very crowded area where people do crazy things.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna wrap up. Any other cosplay? You guys just said what you need for cosplay. The the repairs for cosplay, get ready for it. If you're coming down on the train, maybe don't have a giant cosplay procedure going on. Any other last minute advice for cosplay? I mean, people know cosplay, but San Diego Comic-Con is a different beast altogether.
Mhm.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, I don't think there's really much else I can think of, and we will have more shows covering Comic-Con in the
Yep.
near future, couple weeks. So we can always tell you more, or you can comment on this, and if we see some comments, hopefully we can direct you to some more information.
Absolutely.
But definitely just be very, very thorough with reading the Comic-Con rules and regulations on the website.
All right, guys. Comic-Con is starting July 24th. Hopefully, we're going to see you guys there. Derek, where we can find you?
On X and Instagram as Con Guy Derek.
Katie?
You can find me on X, Instagram, TikTok at KT_Christine with a C, and also on Twitch, which hopefully I will be more active on soon. And the Con Girls, which is our sister site.
Nice. You can find me at James D. Fry on Instagram, or just follow me here on theconguy.com. Be checking us out. The Con Guy is going to keep you up to date on all these updates as we get closer to San Diego Comic-Con. Hopefully, we'll see you guys down there. All right. See ya.
Thanks for watching The Con Guy, the official program of theconguy.com. Find us on the Weeby Geeks Collective or anywhere you listen to podcasts.